Alright, as discussed in my previous video, is end of service for Black Clover, unfortunately. But that being said, they're giving us free stuff for the last 2 months. And as you can see, if you go to your mailbox over here, you can get all of these 5 characters and their skill pages for free. And also tons of rewards over here, like 100,000 black crystals, 1,000 of summoning tickets, and the precious necklace, this item for duping your character. So make sure you get all of them, and that'll be so fun to upgrade all of your characters if you want for the last 2 months. But the weird thing is that they gave this 1,000 like summoning tickets, but there's no summoning what do you call it, like banners over here. Probably we're gonna have, hopefully we'll have one next week, like on June 26th. That will be the final update. Sad to even, when I hear saying that, it's just upsetting me. But anyway, we're gonna have the last update on June 26th, and hopefully we'll get a full summoning banner over here to just spend all those resources. But yeah, so for the last 2 months, make sure that you take advantage of all of these items and just enjoy the game, because then you won't be able to open up the game at all. So yeah, last 2 months. Now let's talk about these characters, long awaited characters, 5 of them. We were supposed to get them way sooner before, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And let's just have a first look, and probably I'll do different videos for the kit and the showcase fully later on. For now, let's just do a first look and see what are these 5 characters. This LICHT, I talked about him before. I have a video of him and I was waiting for him to come out. He's the best green attacker in the game, and he scales up with buffs. So the more buff you get, the more increased damage you have, and that's super fun to play, and also extends the buff duration with the second skill. And over here you get 20% increased damage dealt from each buff on your ally. So you said, let's just say like 2 on each ally, so that'll be 6 buff, 120 on top of the max 230 over here. And also ignores defense and removes immortality. That's insane. Like I was waiting so long to play with him, and finally I can build him up and see how good he works. When you have at least one supporter, grants 30% reduced damage taken, great, and also increased speed. And if you have 2 supporters, grants it becomes invulnerable for 1 turn upon using a skill. Again, good passives. So he's your basically your main DPS, and you need supporters in your team. Duping system, magic attack, increased magic attack 10% buff for 2 turns. And if you have 3 buffs, attacks after granting 80% increased damage dealt, which is insane. So obviously this is crazy. As I said before, he is one of the best characters in the game and the best attacker, the green attacker, obviously. Now let's go to his subordinate, PATRY, the green debuffer elf. Let's see how he works. For each buff present on enemy, attacks after granting 10% increased damage dealt. Okay, and then for each buff present, again 15% increased damage dealt, and removes 2 buffs on an enemy. So you scale up based on the buff on the enemy, and then you remove those buffs. Doesn't this make your next attack weaker, kind of? Right? I don't know, I'm not sure. And over here, to all enemies, removes invulnerability, that's great, but on one enemy, inflicts remove 1 buff. If at least 3 buffs are present on an enemy, inflicts remove 1 buff. So okay, you can still remove 1 buff, and then 40% increased damage taken. Not bad. Removes 2 buffs on enemy, just removes buffs. I don't know, I have to play with him. And then if the partner mage is an attacker, grants self stun immunity and the partner mage. And if the partner mage is sense, like the green one, grants self invulnerability. So you can partner him probably with LICHT, but then LICHT needs supporters. So a green attacker, maybe for him. Okay, let's go to the next one. The one and only royalty NOZEL Silva. Yellow golden defender. It's good. Golden characters. Love them. Poison. I hate poison. Like the worst dot in the game. And taunt them. Okay. Trash. Grants all allies Mercury Shield. I mean, what the hell is this Mercury Shield? It should be lift up defense, but it's just crit res. Increases by 30%. Okay, not bad. And reduces damage taken 10% only. That'll be like 30% for 2 turns. All allies, like a B tier defender probably. And then again, taunt them and poison. Inflicts 15% increased damage taken. Debuff on them for 2 turns for each instance of continuous poison. Also about if there is one Harmony attribute mage on the ally side, upon attacking spreads 1 instance of designated enemy's continuous damage to all enemies. Okay, again, so this is what they always do. Like whenever you have a green, I don't know why I'm saying green, a yellow golden character, you need to only have that character, like just one golden character in your team, like Lumiere and also the Valkyrie Noel, and then him. So this might be useful if there's one defender mage on the ally side of a battle, grants all continuous damage immunity. May be good for, what was it, frame challenge and daily boss battle, probably. Let's move to GAUCHE. If you land a crit, 15% reduced mobility, not worth it. Crit res level 4, okay, not bad. Reduces crit rate, alright, that's also not bad. Removes 2 buffs on all enemies. We already had this with PATRY, right? And concentrated attack, so takes damage if it's a crit, and then upon landing crit inflicts 15% reduced mobility. This could be useful. I mean, depending on your team, this could be useful because you reduce crit, you reduce mobility on the enemy, you attack back to back, you remove buffs, and you can do a crit attack over here. So might be useful. 50% reduced crit res debuff on all enemies. You can do lots of damage, I guess, if you build him correctly. If an ally lands a crit, grants of 20% increased mobility buff. I have to play with him. Probably if this works well, you can deal lots of damage, especially if the enemy has high crit res, and then you can just reduce that. And then let's go to this weirdo Gordon. Poison magic. What do we have here? Reduced defense. Nice. First skill. Okay, this is good for world boss and stuff. So 50% reduced defense. That's great. And since it's skill 1, you can do it back to back. And then extended debuff. Great. I like the extend buff and debuff, skill that we have. Disarm, reduce, that's also good. Reduces crit rate, that's also good, not bad. A bit higher than GAUCHE, but this is good. Okay, I like the second skill as well. And then here, if curse is not present, inflicts curse for 3 turns. What's curse? If an opponent with curse dies, deals 30% of max HP as extra damage to all teammates on their side. Alright, if an opponent with curse dies, inflicts curse on a random teammate on their side for 3 turns. That's interesting. And also 50% increased damage taken debuff. Oh, great. This is good. This is really good. I like the special skill. I want to play with him more and see how this works, because you curse an enemy and 30% of max HP, maybe like 30k damage. If you can have like 100. What am I doing? Okay, let's max him out. Can we dupe him? Let's say no. So 106, obviously you can go to 160, 180, or maybe 200. So you can deal 40, 50k damage. And with the special skill, yeah, that's useful. That's really useful. Over here, if all allies are debuffers, inflicts disarm, reduce all attack at the start of battle. If all allies are debuffers, grants all allies 50% increase. All allies should be like debuffers, so you should have full debuffer team. What's the dupe passive? For each debuff present on a designated enemy, attacks have 30% increased damage dealt buff. Good. At the start of a battle, grants debuff immunity to all debuffer. Nice. And at the start of a wave, grants 30% reduced damage they can buff to all debuffers. So basically your debuffer team is going to be a defender team. That's crazy. I mean, it's weird. I like the last skill. I mean, I want to know how this works. I want to test it later on. Maybe it'll be trash, but it's just interesting for me to test it out. The first and second skill is also useful, but the passives are just weird. I mean, you only have to have debuffers in your team, so who's going to be your main DPS? I guess we're gonna go back to Lotus, the one and only debuffer, the first debuffer we get for free in the game. Yeah, increased magic attack, so he's going to be like your main DPS. That's weird. Okay, I don't know. We gotta wait and see. I'll test them out and check how everyone works out well. But for now, I'm interested on testing Gordon and also obviously LICHT. I mean, he's going to be crazy, insane. We'll wait and see. Alright, so I'll definitely make videos about them. So till next time, have fun with these units and stay tuned.